Welcome back to Being Mom. We're here with mummy burnout expert Dr. Barnes talking about what happens when mothers become physically and mentally exhausted. Let's meet Brittany Purr and listen to her experience with mummy burnout.
My name is Brittany Purr and I have a 2.5-year-old daughter. My husband and I have been together for 8 years, including dating, and our first date went off like a rocket. It was great. I knew Jason always wanted kids, and so I was okay with that. Since he wanted kids so much, I figured he'd be more proactive and, wanting to take care of her. But the way my life is right now, I don't feel like my husband's doing his part. When he does do things, oftentimes it's not complete, and yeah, I am a perfectionist, so I have to take over. I'm pretty much a stay-at-home mom, even though I'm not very happy with that, and I take care of everything in this household. Cleaning, doing the dishes, cooking, home repair. I've got so much stuff to do that pretty much by the end of the day I pass out. I am getting overwhelmed. If something's not done in this household, I can't rest until it's done. But things will never be done because I have a 2.5-year-old running around. I also feel trapped because I'm not allowed the freedom to do what I want to do. I want to go out and work, enjoy, hang out with my friends and stuff. I did kind of expect me to have a little more freedom. I didn't expect the constant war of self. Since I don't see myself as just stay-at-home mom, I see myself as, someone out there taking on the world and being myself. There's kind of been an identity crisis there for me. It's
Thank you for being on the show, and it takes a lot of courage to come on and speak about this. How do you feel, watching that?
I just feel trapped. Dealing with a 2-year-old all the time, it's a constant, it feels like it's a constant battle.
Did you have a vision of what you thought it was going to be?
Kind of figured, I can be myself, I can, do the things that I'm accustomed to doing, which I most often can't.
I think for many moms, that does happen, that we expect it to be a certain way, it turns out to be very different, and there really is a period of grief and mourning that we go through as we kind of experience the loss of that vision we held.
It has created that identity crisis, like where I can't be myself. I can't do the same things that I wanted to do.
Can I ask, did you and your husband have any kind of conversation before you had your daughter? How was it decided that you were going to stay home and work inside of the home?
We never really discussed that because I think that kind of hit us out of the blue. I expected to at least be home for a period of time, but never really, it wasn't expected.
Well, I think you're in good company because I think most couples don't think about talking about these things. We really do need to sit down with our partners before we have children, or even when we're pregnant, and say, okay, how are things going to look different for us? How are our roles going to change?
And we were speaking earlier about sort of this judgment if I don't have it all together, and you do let down the guard for vulnerability.
I usually just get crushed. Like even this morning, I was in tears because I'm just like, I am tired of fighting with my daughter. If I get frustrated or stressed out, like my husband also gets frustrated and stressed out. I feel if I cannot keep up, being the strong person, keep up the household, keep up all this stuff, it's just an end for, me getting hurt.
So this sense that I have to hold it together all the time because that's what good moms do. I would like to reframe, though, this idea that if we show our feelings, we're being weak.
Yeah.
And
Please, Dr. Barnes, please give women and men, let's not forget the fathers, please give us permission to say it's okay.
We can love our kids and hate the job. And there are times when
I've never heard it said like that before.
It's interesting because when you do work inside of the home as opposed to outside, in the outside world you get a lot of feedback about how you're doing. You get paid, people say good job. Mothers don't get that kind of feedback in the home.
It's not valued.
It's expected.
It's expected. It's not valued. I mean, look, if we put a ticket on how much we should be making, we're talking about 6 figures here,
Of course we are.
And I've said this before. I believe toddlers are only doing what we still wish we could do, having a tantrum. I mean, how many of us out there, audience, how many of us would like to have a tantrum and say, you know what? I don't feel like doing this right now.
throw ourselves on the floor and kick and scream. And
who wouldn't want to come on, if it was accepted, who wouldn't want to do that?
That's real. But you see, that's what's real. We can absolutely adore our children, but we can have moments, many moments, where we feel frustrated, where we want to cry, where we feel like we want to go back to life the way we knew it. You know, that's another myth about motherhood, is that you're a mom now.
Yeah.
So anything you knew about yourself before becoming a mom, forget it.
Yeah.
That's done. And nothing could be further from the truth.
I mean, it's a lot to take on because you're struggling with so many different roles. I mean, how do you feel about the roles that you're taking on?
Overwhelmed. Absolutely overwhelmed.
Well, what I'm also hearing is that you have a tremendous amount of responsibility and very little feeling of authority over your own life.
Yes, that is definitely hitting the nail on the head.
And so when help comes to you, how do you manage that? Do you accept it or do you fight it?
I am a perfectionist, which kind of makes things hard for having people come into the household and help unless they, you know, are really good at taking direction from me.
How do you think it has an impact, you know, the need to kind of order everything and keep things in place on your husband? Does he back away from taking care of Solace because of that?
Yeah.
You need the support. We all need the support. When we come back, a plan of action you can begin today to regain your balance from burnout. Coming up on Being Mom. What can we start doing today?
Couple time, self-time, and we time. Implement some concrete strategies.
Okay.
So he gets some self-care time, and for you to have time to yourself.